Therefore you arise and gain glory, conquering your foes, enjoy a prosperous kingdom. By me alone are they slain already. Be you merely the occasion of Savyasācin. There are some verses of the Gita on whose support I have been living, and these are the guiding forces of my life. Not just me, but Guruji. What Guruji has been living in the last 30 years, if is not longer, is upon the support of these verses. This is one of those verses. Shri Krishna tells Arjuna that even if Arjuna was not there, the Kauravas are still going to die, and together with them, all the warriors who have stood on the side of adharma and righteousness are certainly going to die. Despite this, Arjuna could ask that, why then do you need me, O Lord? That is why Shri Krishna begins this verse with the word tasmat. Remember what the word tasmat means. Anyone remember? Therefore, to show Arjuna why Arjuna is needed. Why is Arjuna needed? The Kauravas are going to die anyway, but Shri Krishna is telling Arjuna to what? To arise, to gain glory, and to attain fame. Shri Krishna tells Arjuna to conquer his foes and to enjoy a prosperous kingdom. He then tells Arjuna that the warriors he can see on the other side are slain already by the Supreme Soul alone. We should underline the word ever. Underline the word ever, the last word on the third line, alone, because it is used after the word mayava, me. So alone, me. This shows that by the Supreme Soul alone are they slain already. The word purvameha, already, is used to show that the Supreme Soul has slain them already and that they have been dead for a very long time. If Arjuna is thinking that he's going to kill his people, then they have been killed by the Supreme Soul since a long time ago. Shri Krishna tells Arjuna to be merely the occasion. Nimitya matram Savyasācin. Arjuna only has to become the occasion. Arjuna should become the occasion. God has already finished the work a long time ago. Everything that had been done has already been done by the Supreme Soul a long time ago. Now Arjuna only has to become the occasion. Nimitya matram Savyasācin. There's a very special thing that has been said in the Gita. If one has faith in Shri Krishna and trusts in the words of the Supreme Soul, then the feelings of the heart come out while reading this verse. What is the purpose of life? God is saying such words here that would even take the air out of great people. When one is saying that I am doing, then this will not last. Put these two things on one side. First, by the Supreme Soul are they slain already, and second, be you merely the occasion. Even if Arjuna is not there, the work will be done. The Supreme Soul has killed these people since a long time ago. What then does Arjuna need to do? Arjuna only needs to what? What does he need to do? Arise and gain glory. Shri Krishna tells Arjuna only to gain glory and to attain fame. The Supreme Soul tells Arjuna only to be merely the occasion. Only when there is unique love can this happen. This is a verse of instrumental devotion. Arjuna only needs to become the means and the instrument. Without Arjuna, everything will keep running, but this does not mean that Arjuna is useless. Arjuna is of a lot of use. Arjuna is needed. What happens in the world is that if the first person feels that everything in the world will keep running without the second person, then the first person becomes arrogant and tells the second person to go because he's not needed. But with God, it is so that God is powerful and yet God needs the devotee. Shri Krishna lifted Giriraj Govardhan, the Govardhan mountain, and yet he still needed the sticks of the cowherds so the cowherds could feel that they are helping him. Shri Krishna has lifted the Govardhan mountain, and despite this, Shri Krishna does not say, why are you holding the sticks? Put them down. No. Shri Krishna tells them, you keep the sticks. Then Shri Krishna did not ask them why they're standing there with the sticks, but it's so that they can feel as if they're doing something, so that they can get bliss from their actions, and so that they do not get lazy and attached to inaction. This is because we must understand this thing in 2 or 3 meanings. If we think that all of these people have been killed already by the Supreme Soul, then what use is there of doing anything at all? Because God has done everything already, and God has arranged everything already. Then why should I act? There is no need for my efforts. Everything that is going to happen in the world has happened already because God has done it already. I have no need to do anything. this lazy attitude comes and idolism comes, where the person sits there with a lot of capacity and yet does nothing. This person just lies around. This should not happen. That is why the principle is absolutely correct, that by the Supreme Soul alone are the slain already. The Supreme Soul has done everything that needs to happen. Yet, you are not to sit around doing nothing, even you are needed. How are you needed? You have to be merely the occasion. You should become the occasion. In reality, only Shri Krishna can do this. If you look at it from the second way, then the Supreme Soul will not just leave it by saying, by me alone are the slain already. If God took about this verse, then God says that, Arjun, if you're not there, then how can this happen? There is nobody like you. How will all of these people die? Then Dharma will not come, and Adharma will take place if Duryodhana wins. If this was said, then it's possible that egotism may arise in Arjun's mind. If the power of God leaves the concept of God being the doer, then it's possible that egotism can arise in the mind of the individual. The individual will think that, oh, I am doing everything. When this egotism comes, then the destruction of the individual becomes certain. Therefore, the root subject of the Gita, that is Nishkam Karma Yoga without desires, has a very beautiful equivalent in devotion. The Nishkam Karma Yoga without desires, that was described in the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, was described logically, rationally, and in a complete metaphysical way. Now the exact same Nishkam Karma Yoga has had a little feelings put into it and has been clothed with the beautiful clothes of devotion to become Nishkam Karma Yoga without desires of bhakti, devotion. Everything has already happened, but you have to perform the action. Therefore, when you perform the action, no egotism will arise in your mind. This is devotionalized Nishkam Karma Yoga. Both things are the same. Nishkam Karma Yoga without desires. But now, the Supreme Soul is placing it from the perspective of bhakti, devotion. Now, no egotism will last, because the Supreme Soul tells Arjun to have the attitude that he is merely the occasion. Shri Krishna addresses Arjun as Savyasācin. What does this mean? It means one who can use his left hand, like Krishna. One who can use his left hand. I'm talking about my sister there, not the Bhagavan Krishna. One can use his left hand, Dabori. Arjun had this ability. He could hold his bow and fire an arrow using his right hand, but he can also do it using his left hand. He could do it with both hands. That is why Shri Krishna addresses Arjun as Savyasācin. The reason why Shri Krishna addressed Arjun as Savyasācin here is to tell Arjun that, Arjun, you're becoming the occasion by the time becoming the occasion, but you have to use your total efficiency. You can use your bow and arrow with both hands, and therefore you should use your total efficiency. It will not work if you fire arrows with one hand. Just see that Arjun is saying that he does not want to go to war, but God is telling Arjun to use both his hands to fire arrows. This is because in this war, Arjun has to use his total efficiency. It will not work with one hand, it has to be done with both hands. On the majority of occasions, it so happens that when I'm the occasion and everything has happened, for example, when at weddings, when people say that the wedding between them went well and it's going to happen, so what difference does it make if I do not go? We would give the cover to somebody else instead of us, the wedding will happen. The host will say, no, you come and come for the morning. Not only that, but you stand in the mandap, the wedding area. It will not work without you. You become the occasion. And only then do these people come to the wedding. And hosts say, and do not come only to show your face, but to take part wholeheartedly. In the same way, Shri Krishna addressed Arjun as Savyasācin to say that Arjun should fight with both hands and with total capacity. Shri Krishna tells Arjun to become involved with his complete efforts. His complete efforts, his complete power, his complete mind, complete full strength, and complete wealth in its totality. Only then can it be said that he has truly become the occasion. It is when one is involved in totality. Otherwise, you cannot say that he has become the occasion. Shri Krishna tells Arjun to become the occasion in this way. Nimitya matram bhavisavyasācin. Only then will Arjun get bliss. Why does Arjun have to be the occasion? Why? So that he can get glory and fame. Shri Krishna tells Arjun to gain glory and fame. Because the war has been won and dharma has become established, Arjun has already told God that, Lord, I can see Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and the other warriors entering into your mouths. Who then is urgent to kill Bhishma? Bhishma has already died. Who then is urgent to kill Drona? Drona has already died. God tells Arjuna to see that they are stuck between God's teeth. That is where they are, but Arjuna only has to yasho labhasva, gain glory. This is the peak of bhakti devotion. When does a person become prepared to give another person fame and glory? We have to have this experience while living in society that everybody is out to attain fame and glory. Wherever something good happens, then we say that I did it. Over here, it is a matter of giving fame and glory. That is why Shri Krishna says, Yasho labhasva, you gain glory. Shri Krishna does not say, Yasho labhe, I will get fame, but he says, Yasho labhasva, you gain glory. Shri Krishna tells Arjuna that you gain glory. Shri Krishna gives glory to Arjuna. When can one give glory? Only when one has an endless amount of love towards another can they give them glory. Otherwise, they cannot give another person glory. Great saints give us a very nice example of arranged marriages. A daughter has turned 21, 22 or 23, and the mother gets worried that she should get married very soon. The mother keeps thinking about which nice house her daughter can get and asks everyone, if you know, then tell us, our daughter's like this, our daughter's like that. And then a proposal comes from somewhere. There's an intermediary who decides that they would come to the girl's house at 4 p.m. in the afternoon with a boy and his family, and will get the girl and the boy to meet. The mother thinks that, yes, this is a very nice family, the boy is very good, and if it can be arranged with this boy, then it'll be very nice. The daughter does not care too much at the age of 21, 22 or 23. She's studying in college and does not have much worries about a marriage. The mother has a lot of worries. On the day when the meeting is arranged at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, the girl gets up at 7 a.m. in the morning in order to get ready and go to college, and reaches college at 8 a.m. She then comes back home at 3 p.m. It's Indian schools, not schools here. A mother had told today that today, especially you come back home at 3 p.m., do not get late. Today, do not take any extra classes and do not go to anybody's party. Today, come back home at 3 p.m. The daughter says, yes, mother, I'll come back at that time. The daughter goes to college, and as soon as she goes to college, then the mother does all the preparations. The mother cleaned everything in the house, brings flowers, puts everything into arrangements, changes the curtains of the windows, and if it's possible, she also changes the upholstery. She prepares everything. She prepares all sorts of foods for dinner. She makes 4 or 5 dishes and orders some food from outside. She prepares all of this. When it's 2 p.m. or 2:15 p.m. in the afternoon, and all the preparations have been made, the mother keeps looking at the clock thinking, has my daughter come? Has my daughter come? Has my daughter come? Between 2:30 p.m. and 3 p.m., the mother goes to the balcony at least 10 times to check, has my daughter come or not? Has my daughter come or not? It turns 3:30 p.m. and the mother begins worried that why has my daughter not yet come? Must she be stuck in traffic? Must something have happened with someone? Why is she not coming? What is happening? When it is 3:30 p.m., then the daughter comes home, turning a purse in her hand. The mother is under so much tension and tells the daughter to get ready quickly, to bathe quickly, and that she has prepared all the clothes for the daughter, including saris and everything, because her cool clothes will not work at this time. The mother tells the daughter that she's prepared everything for her and that she should wear it quickly. Because it is a daughter, she goes to have a bath and prepares the sari that her mother made for her. She puts on the makeup and knows that this person is going to come. I'll meet him and he'll speak. She takes the whole issue very lightly, but for the mother it is such a major occasion. The guests come at 4:15 p.m. or 4:30 p.m. and they sit. Everybody is introduced and they all speaking about where they're from, what community they're in and what they do. Then people begin to say, you know this person? They say, oh, brother Bhagwan Das, we know each other very well. We used to live together in the same building. The world is so small. This always comes, and I've seen this. The dialogue comes and comes and comes. It definitely comes, it happens. Then some formal talks happen for 30 minutes, and then after the informal talks happening, the mother tells the daughter to bring some food. The mother has already made and prepared everything in the kitchen. She puts out all the dishes in the trays. She had made very nice food such as yellow batatana shak, yellow potatoes. I say a different item of food every time. She has made some very nice food such as yellow potatoes and has prepared everything in a tray. She pulls out all the cups and plates in the tray and prepares everything, even including the piece of lemon. The whole dish is prepared with all the spices. The mother then comes inside the kitchen to tell the daughter to hold the tray. She tells the daughter, place this gently and do not smash it. The daughter walks into the room with a tray in her hands. The guests are sitting there and she places it into there. She gives the tray to each and every person in their hands. When these people are eating the yellow potatoes and put it in their mouths, they say, these yellow potatoes have been made very nicely. Who has made these yellow potatoes? Before anybody says anything, the mother first immediately says, my daughter's made them. The daughter does not even know. Why has the mother said this? Why has she said that my daughter has made this? It is because it is her daughter's occasion. When this phrase is said and the arrangement is made for the occasion of the yellow potatoes, then the daughter will be happy. This is why her mother has given her daughter glory. It is her daughter's event and she has feelings towards her daughter. She has love for her daughter, and that is why the mother has said this. But let us say this event did not happen and it was not a meeting for engagement. Some close friends have come from dinner and the mother makes the yellow potatoes. While eating, somebody says, who has made these potatoes? And the mother does not say, my daughter's made these. No, the mother gives a whole recipe there and then. He says that you should only make these yellow potatoes in this way. You should put these types of leaves in it. When people put too much spices in it, that's where the difficulties come. Who has asked her for the recipe? At that time, the fame is the mother's. But when it is the occasion for a daughter, and when it is for her daughter, the mother says that my daughter has made these. That is why Shri Krishna says, Yasho labasva, you gain glory. Only when there is an endless amount of love does this happen, otherwise it does not happen. Who can you make an occasion? Only person who you have love towards and who you have feelings towards. Only they can be made an occasion. Many times it so happens that when we go to pray at the temple, we see that some elder people have come with their children. The mother prays to God and takes out a £10 note from her pocket and gives it to the child saying that, here son, go and give this to God, put this with God. Who has earned this? The person herself. Who has worked hard? The person herself. Then should she not get the glory of putting the money in front of God by saying that, God, I'm putting this? No. She says, son, you put the money in front of God. Why? It is because he is her own son. She wants her son to get good morals and punya, the opposite of sin. She wants her son to do sat karma, divine acts. This is the reason for it. She says this because it is her son. If it was her and it was son, then she would say, son, you put the note there. If it was her son, then she can only give glory to the one that she loves. In the last verse, God has said something very clear to Arjuna, that Arjuna, even if you were not here, then all of this would happen. But even despite this, Arjuna is needed. Why is this? God has love for Arjuna. That is why God is making Arjuna the occasion. If you think about this perspective of God, then you get a lot of bliss in performing actions in life. Now look, if one is not needed and they still get to work, then the person loses interest. But if one is not needed and they still have to become the occasion, then it is because the other person has love for them. And for love, a person becomes ready to do anything. The person then thinks that it can happen without me, but you have love for me and you have trusted me. You have told me this with love, and therefore I would do anything for you. Those who study psychology will understand that God has created a nice mental attitude that I do not want anything. Nishkam Karma Yoga, the yoga of actions without desire, has therefore come about. Shri Krishna said in the 47th verse of the 2nd chapter, remember this? Karmanye avidikarasya mafaleshu kadachana. To action alone have your right and not at all to its fruits. Shri Krishna does not want any fruits. First, Shri Krishna does not want any fruits. Second, Shri Krishna does not need Arjuna. Why then should one act? One should act with love. Shri Krishna has feeling towards Arjuna, and that is why Arjuna should act. Shri Krishna wants to give this glory to Arjuna, and that is why Shri Krishna tells Arjuna that he should become the occasion. Shri Krishna does not want to tell the world that Shri Krishna won the war of the Mahabharata. Shri Krishna wants to tell the whole world that Arjuna won the war of the Mahabharata. That is why Shri Krishna tells Arjuna to become the occasion. Shri Krishna is always going to be with Arjuna, but Arjuna has been told to become the occasion. This is the greatest way to win over a human being. This is the way in which you can win over a human being. You cannot win over a person through incentives. How much will you pay them? If you tell someone that because they've done this job for you, you'll give them £5,000, £15,000, £20,000. But how much can you give them? And when you keep giving to them, then greed is such that it will keep increasing, and however much you give them, it will be too little every time. But love, neither by giving love does the giver run out of things, nor by receiving love does the receiver get tired. That is why Shri Krishna tells Arjuna to do it with love. Neither by giving love does the giver run out of things, nor by receiving love does the receiver get tired. That is why Shri Krishna tells Arjuna to do it with love. Nimitya matram bhava Savyasācin. Be you merely the occasion of Savyasācin, Arjuna. When one is becoming the occasion, then there should be no type of defect towards work from oneself. One should have the action that I want to give my best. This is the characteristic of being the occasion. When you become the occasion for God, remember this particularly. We have all been created to do some work or the other for the Supreme Soul in whatever field we are in our lives. Why do so many people gather together to come to listen to a discourse on the Bhagavad Gita? Is it for passing the time away? Has some type of club then opened? No. People want to attain something, and people want to gain something. That is why people come. This is their love. By coming to a discourse and sitting there, for example, at 7 p.m., one thing is certain, and that is that such people want to improve something in their lives, want to make their lives divine, and want to do some work for the Supreme Soul. This is a certain fact at that time. In this verse, remember these words and the speech of the Supreme Soul. One thinks that, Lord, I want to do this work for you. Lord, until now I do not know, but now I found out that the Lord, even without me, you can make it happen. I did understand this, but I used to feel helpless. I used to feel completely useless. But Lord, today I found out that it is true, that even without me it can happen. And despite this, you need me, Lord, because you have love towards me. God, when I do your work, I will now do it wholeheartedly. Until now, I did not know this, Lord, that you have love for me, and that is why you are giving me this work. Lord, you have love for me, and that is why you're calling me on this path. God, you are doing your work for me. God, I used to think that you were making me do this because I was so good, but in reality, you are making me do this because you have love for me. That is what Shri Krishna tells Arjuna, Nimitya matram bhava Savyasācin. Be you merely the occasion of Savyasācin. There are some verses of the Gita that you should say each and every day. I say these verses every day. Guruji says these verses every day. Nimitya matram bhava Savyasācin. Be you merely the occasion of Savyasācin. If you look at this in its spiritual meaning, then doing great acts minus the feeling of egotism that one is the doer is equal to becoming the occasion. Doing great acts minus the feeling of egotism that one is the doer is equal to becoming the occasion. The first state is a word given to us by Gurdjieff, that is multi-I-ness. Bhagwan Mahavir called this state Bhauchitvan, and today's psychologists call this state multi-psychic. Gurdjieff called this multi-I-ness. It is a technical word split into multi and I-ness. It is about me, and multi of course means many. The majority of people in the world are in this state. Our bodies may be one, and we may say that this is me, but inside us there are so many me's. There are many of this I, me, and me inside us. There's a crowd of me's, and there's a whole flock of me's. All the confusions that arise in life are because of this multi-I-ness. The person thinks that, should I do this or should I do that? Should I go here or should I go there? Should I do this or should I not do this? All of this happens because of the multi-I-ness. This is because if one of our me says that I should read the Gita, then another one of our me says that I should not read the Gita. One of our me says that at 7 p.m. I should go to the temple and to listen to a discourse of the Gita. And another one of our me says that no, rather than this, I should have more fun at the shopping mall. How many of these me's are there inside us? When this war starts between the different me's, then as a consequence, turbulence arises in a person's life and sorrows are created. We are broken within ourselves. This is the multi-I-ness. The more me's there are, then the more turbulence there is. Such a person has no peace in one place or the other. He says one thing in the morning, a second thing at lunch, and a third thing in the evening. In the morning, he decides that I should give up tea. When it comes to 4 p.m. in the afternoon, then he thinks, bring me the tea, bring me the tea, bring me the tea. This is because the me in him that told him to leave the tea changed to a different me at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. This is because so many me's are residing inside him. The me who is drinking the tea at 4 p.m. has become very powerful. This person has no rest in one place or the other. This person does not have a single-minded resolve. There are the people that say that we decide a lot of things but nothing happens and nothing will happen. This is multi-I-ness. Then a second state comes of unitary I-ness. In this, there is one me. This is what Gurdjieff says. This is a very big leap and a very big jump. The many me's have been destroyed and one me has been kept. The characteristic of such a person is that this person does what he resolves. He can do what he decides. This is ekbisham, unitary I-ness. There is a famous Sanskrit saying that Deham pratyami iva karyam sadhyami. Either the body will fall or I will accomplish my goal. Either the body will fall or I will accomplish my goal. This demonstrates the unitary I-ness. This person has decided that once he would definitely do it, and he would do it come what may. Then this person's will, the resolve doesn't break, his faith doesn't break, and he does not waver from this path. This is the unitary I-ness. There is only one me for him. If I were to give a simple example, then if this person has said at 8 a.m. in the morning that I will give up tea, then this me does not change at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. The me is the same, and therefore this person does not drink the tea after he makes the decision not to. He says that he will give up tea, and he gives up tea. It is over because the me has not changed, and there is only one me. This is the unitary I-ness. I feel that if we only just do this in life, then all our problems will be solved. If one goes from being in a state of multi-I-ness to a state of unitary I-ness, then this is a very big advancement and a very big development. Gurdjieff shows the third state, which is of no I-ness. There is no I-ness. This is aham rahita in Sanskrit. The me no longer remains. The me in a person goes away. You can call this egolessness in simple language. When this state comes, then the person is performing actions, but the person is not burdened by actions. The person has no tensions, no stress, no instability of the mind, and no turbulence. This is the state of no I-ness. All the work is being done, but there is no I-ness. The person thinks that I'm not doing anything, and it is just happening. The fourth state, Gurdjieff says, such a state in which one forgets the stage and the remembrance of no I-ness. This is the fourth state. This is because when we say that I am not there, then there is a subtle me. If one says that I am not there, then me comes into this. But in the fourth state, even the feeling that I am not there goes away. There is complete flow. How does a small feather move amongst the waves of the wind? In the same way that a small child is swinging on a swing, the small feather moves around with the waves of the wind. This is the state of complete flow. This very state is nimitya matram Savyasācin. Be you merely the occasion, or Savyasācin, Arjuna. Even the feeling I am not doing is not there, and even the feeling that I am doing is not there. Then what I had to do has already happened. I am merely the occasion. Shri Krishna tells Arjuna to conquer his foes and to enjoy a prosperous kingdom. What can you call a Samruddha Rajya, a prosperous kingdom? Two things come in a Samruddha Rajya, a prosperous kingdom. The first is wealth, money and riches. The second is that there are no thorns. There are no enemies and there are no worries caused by enemies. Only then can it be called a Samruddha Rajya, a prosperous kingdom. If there is wealth, money and riches and the enemies are just standing outside, then you cannot call this a kingdom without thorns. Shri Krishna tells Arjuna to conquer his foes and to enjoy a prosperous kingdom. Shri Krishna tells Arjuna to reach this state. Next.